And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
You know, I wanted to take this week to do Valentine's Day, Am I the Asshole? But Marsh isn't here. He's dealing with a shitty situation, and we hope he can dig his way out of the muck and find his
literally.
butthole again. Yeah, no shit. But we're here, and we've got a lot to talk about. So, kids, put your feet up, get yourself a beverage, do a little goose fraba, clear the mind. There you go. You feeling good, Lynch?
Oh,
Lynch, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling
You
good.
feeling it?
I'm
You feeling it?
Yeah.
I got a tingle in my
But you're
throat.
doing it with your right hand instead of your left. You're like doing the strange right now. And that's where I say, welcome, motherfucker, to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, baby.
All right. My name is Chris Burns. With me, as always, is my co-host with the utmost, currently going by the nickname IP Freely, but his actual birth name is
Chris Lynch.
And, of course, the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair, and not at the bottom of the Speedway Review Fantasy Points tomorrow night. Can you believe this shit? It's Big Herm Michael P.S. Herman.
What is up? What is up?
Hi.
I would be remiss if I did not mention that today is February 20th of 2024, and 21 years ago was the station nightclub fire. Still haunts me to this day. I believe we've talked about it on the show before. Every day it gets me, and you know, when it comes to this day, I will be making my annual pilgrimage to West Warwick on Saturday to go leave flowers on the markers. Not that they're buried there, but they have the people. They have little markers for everybody that passed away in the fire. I go leave flowers for the people I knew in the fires. So always a rough day.
I remember that I had the opportunity to go.
Same here, Jim and I. We're talking about it.
I for whatever reason, I decided not to go.
I can help you with that. The snowstorm that slapped southeastern Connecticut and barely touched West Warwick.
Yeah. And so I stayed home, and then the next day I hear the news about what was going on. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I knew people that went. Fortunate for them, they made it out. They were some of the first people that got out of the club before it really started as a rager. Sad day. And when I was an investigator, I would drive by that area a lot, and I'd always beat my horn and flash a peace symbol. Man, it was such a shitty day, and to believe it's been 21 years. I mean, to me, it seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
But
that's the dementia.
Oh, yeah, probably. You could be right. Who are you? Which one of you is? Who said that?
Just yesterday, we went on a wagon train. No, Grandma, you didn't.
And Tim died of dysentery.
An amoebic dysentery, and we had to bury him there in the middle of Kansas.
Oh,
Grandma.
good Christ!
No, Grandma, that's not what happened.
You're thinking of a video game,
Oregon
Grandma.
Trail yesterday.
Yeah, you're thinking of Oregon Trail, Grandma. It's a video game.
It's
go back to knitting potholders.
Give me a second. I'm having an issue here.
What kind of issue?
Oh, just
a penile one.
No, I don't have issues with that. I'm pretty good with that. This I know to be true because I'm the only one playing with it.
I hope. Well, for your sake, I hope so. Right
now. I know what I did wrong. Stop. I'm trying to share the show, and it's not working.
Oh,
and
come on.
I got an issue, and now I know what I did, and I'm good.
Are you good? Are you sure you're good? Are you really good?
No. This time I know for sure I'm good. And I'll get back to Station Nightclub Fire. Easy for me to say. in just one moment. But now that I've fixed my fucking problem, I'm going to share the show again. And it worked. So there we go. Let's boost the gimmick. All right. So much like your story, Lynch, Lalamir and I had heard about the show kind of last minute. And it was a Thursday night. We both had Sunday, Monday off. We're like, dude, it's a Thursday night. It's snowing. Do you really want to go through the snow to see Great Fucking White? We had just been at the station 3 weeks ago and saw Anthrax when they were on tour with Judas Priest, and they played the Orpheum. That's the one in Boston. And then the next night was an off night for Priest, so Anthrax booked the gig at the station.
Yep.
And it was a fucking banging time. I've been there at least, I'd been to that club at least a dozen times and love it.
Yeah, I had seen other shows there before.
Oh yeah, I saw a
before
Kiss
then,
tribute show there. I'd seen local acts there. When Jaded was coming up, I saw them there. Britt Lightning now playing with Vixen on the national level. Good on her.
Nice.
Have to get Britt on the show. She'll tell you some stories. But yeah, waking up the next morning, and it's vivid. It's like I could see this like it was yesterday. My girlfriend's sister-in-law brings little Jacob, who on Friday mornings I would watch, even though I had to work that later that night. And I sit him down and I give him his breakfast. He was about a year old.
You were working second shift retail, right, at the time?
Yes.
Okay, that's
As the manager, yeah.
Yep. Okay, just making
And,
sure my timetable's correct.
No, you're good. Look at that. And I turned on the TV, and at the same time, it was back in the day when to charge your phone correctly, you had to turn it off.
Yeah.
And I turned on my phone, and it says, you have 46 new messages. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Unless there's some crazy person out there, I should not have 46 messages. And I started listening to them. Hey, Chris, just saw the news. Tell me you're okay. Hey, Chris, it's Mom. Tell me you're okay. Indiana. Hey, Chris, it's Chad. Tell me you're okay. Montana. Hey, Chris, it's Jim. Tell me you're okay. All over the place.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? And it was like maybe 10 or 12 messages in before I just stopped. And I said, there had to be something on the news, something that they thought I was a part of. And I turned on Channel 12, CBS, which has always been my go-to because there's no sexier woman on earth than Nora O'Donnell. Uh-huh. And there it was, right in front of me. And the first call I made was to Jim Lalamir. Are you seeing this? He goes, yeah. Could have been us.
So I was working swing shifts, and so was Megan. She was still at the casino, and that's how I found out. Right, I didn't wake up until because we work swing. I woke up a little bit later. I had like 11. He got up first, took a shower, and then turned the news on. And she's like, "Dude, wake up! Wake up! Weren't you supposed to go to that?" I'm like, "Oh, bastard!"
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw it on NBC 30 when I woke up the next morning. I'm like, fuck me, man. Holy shit.
I don't, and recently there's been a couple documentaries that come out. I've read the books about them. Mike Riccardi, who was on my old show, talking about the book he wrote as a survivor. Just numbing, just absolutely numbing. But if you get a chance, throw a little good vibes. If you pray. If you believe in good vibes, send some good vibes out to those that made it out, and send some love to those who didn't. And just keep this day in your mind and your heart. And unfortunately, in December, we'll have the 20th anniversary of the worst birthday of my life. And I think Lynch knows what I'm talking about. But let's get on to the news, shall we? So, as NASCAR gets rained out most of the weekend, Herm sends a message and says, hey, you should watch this Selena documentary that just dropped on Peacock. Here's the problem I have with the timing of it. The first episode was an hour and a half. The second episode was 42 minutes, and it sounded like an apology tour for Yolanda Saldivar.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the case is there. How many of these convicted killers are going to come out with these documentaries, and the non-convicted ones, like, I don't know, Casey Anthony, who's still lying through her fucking teeth, and try to do this? Well, I'm about to come up for parole, and I need to make the public love me and care for me. I understand her family sticking up for her, and Herm, you got the wheels turning. I can see it now. How long until this becomes just a non-plus? I mean, who's next? Who really is next that we're going to have a documentary about? We've had Gypsy Rose. We've had Natalia Grace with her busted face. We've had Casey Anthony. We now have Yolanda Saldivar. Who's next coming up for parole that we're going to have to watch a documentary about?
Don't know. We got to wait and see.
Oh, thanks.
Well,
Thanks for playing.
That's the whole point. Is it depends.
and
Depends.
I
You gotta
agree with
see
you
what the
about.
luck of the draw is.
I agree with you about the second episode. It's like a Politico going out on glad handing and shaking hands and kissing babies to try to win the public over. It's not the public you have to win over. It's your parole board hearing or whatever the fuck I don't remember what was her sentence. What's her actual sentence?
25 to life.
Okay,
Yep.
so very rarely do you see a life sentence commuted or get on parole. The 25 to life
Well, that's the whole point.
Makes it a little more lenient.
The 25 to life means that at 25 she can start
the appeals process and start the
asking
parole
for
bar.
parole. So, I mean, because it depends on your state. Some states are 60 years, and then it's life. Like life imprisonment doesn't mean you die. It's like in Connecticut, it's a specific length. It's to a specific
Time
age
period.
or length of time.
Yeah.
In Connecticut, it's 60 years.
Yep.
So technically, if you do it and you live long enough, healthy enough, you do life in prison and then get out.
Right.
Right.
It's
My
not
issue,
parole, you just do the 60 and they're like, oh, you're done, you're good.
the spin that this documentary put, and I say the spin that the documentary put, whoever put it together knew they were going to go from Yolanda's point of view.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Well,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
have to. You have to. I mean,
If you want her to
dead.
do the interview, yeah.
Selena's dead. There's no story on that side. You've got nobody else really knows what the fuck happened. Nobody else was there.
There's
The
a
only
couple of
person
eyewitnesses that heard her
there-
say shit.
But
But you're right.
heard her say shit, but you can't do 3 hours on I heard Johnny say he was gonna kill her.
Yeah,
That's
kind of
great.
point.
And we'll be back in 3 hours.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So you've got to go with her because she's the only person that has any role in the story that you really need to want clarification and to understand.
I disagree with that to an extent, and sorry to step on you, Lynch, but there's one other person I would have liked to have heard from, but he said no.
Dad's not fucking talking.
Yep.
Dad's always said, I'm not fucking talking.
Yeah,
But
the
what's
court
to
did
say?
the talking. She's in jail. Go fuck yourself. I'm done.
That's always been Dad's point. She was there. The courts found her guilty. She can say whatever she wants. They put the right person away. That's literally Dad's whole story since.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to bring any more light to her story anyway. He just doesn't want to talk about it. It in his mind, the sentence was given.
Mhm.
She's
Right,
away.
giving it-
I don't
for
want to
him-
fucking waste my breath about her because
For him, giving it any attention legitimizes
exactly
anything she has to say.
What was his first name again? Abraham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because and that was during the thing, and they would show at the end of the first episode.
Yeah, it's
Abraham
a name
Quintanilla.
it's a name that doesn't technically fit with the Mexican line of thought. Like it is, but when we hear no, I mean I hear Abraham, I think
old white dude.
Well, no, I think
Biblical.
actually Middle Eastern.
A lot of biblical because it's a biblical name.
Right. It is a biblical name, so it's more of that area of the country. Ibrahim, those names are all the same.
Hello, it's me, Abe.
Yeah, hello, it's me, Abe. You know, we had a Middle Eastern landlord named Abraham. So Ibrahim Salahi.
Abraham.
But So that's what so when I hear it, I keep saying Abraham, and I'm thinking who? And I'm like, oh yeah, the dad. I forget his name is Abraham. It doesn't strike me, it's not like
Yup.
Jose or something.
Jose,
I'm
listen
going
to
something.
you.
Well,
Jose meet Hose B.
I'm just saying there's definitely more Spanish sounding names than
I got you.
Abraham.
I got you.
I
I'm not shitting down your neck on this one.
Oh no, I'm just saying,
kinda,
like for me, the first thing is I forgot his name after 30 years, and they were like, and Abraham, and I was like, who the fuck? Oh, it's the dad. That's right. I'm like,
Papa Dukes, yeah.
yes. I was like, who's the Middle Eastern guy they keep talking about? There it is.
The thing
Hey, it's still not as bad. I'm still not as racist as that McNugget commercial training video. I played that whole thing for my wife last night, and she's like, Michael,
I can't with that.
So racist.
Darlene, if in the comment section, if you're talking about Abraham Quintanilla, I'll buy that he's honest. I mean, he's a promoter. He's going to be a little shady, but if you're talking about our former landlord, no, that dude was shady as fuck. He was not honest.
I think she's talking about the president.
I would get best president of all time.
Yeah, my wife could not believe that she's like that. I don't remember that commercial. That's not a commercial.
That's not a commercial. That's a training video.
That is a legitimate McDonald's corporate training video bit.
Oh yeah.
And I explained to her you had the chicken and filet video and the pies, and then nuggets got added way late, so they had to market the nuggets on a separate add-on addendum video, and there was a front of the house video and a back of the house video. These are the sauces. But yeah, like it was so racist, and she's literally just like, oh my god. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking McDonald's doing that shit, babe.
Yep, that shit, and I know I always say this when I say something like this, that shit wouldn't fly today.
No, it would not, dude. The hot mustard,
right?
We have a sauce that'll make you think you're a samurai. And she's losing her shit, and I'm like, babe, it was 1983.
But we're also laughing. We laughed
now.
at it in 1988, and I laugh at it now.
Stupid. Like, just this is stupid. So dumb.
I laugh at it now because when you sent that, I was like, "Oh, I gotta rewatch this and remember it." It was so daggum stupid.
I started watching it on my phone, and I had to shoot it to my television to get the full experience. Seriously,
85-inch version.
Yeah, I'm like, this is fucking comedy gold. And then I went on this rabbit hole of watching old 80s and 70s and 80s commercials.
Oh yeah,
like McDonald's and toys and shit.
Yo, the Snoopy brusher toothbrush that I dropped.
Fucking Christ.
I already said it.
As I said it to Jen, and she's like, "What?"
Yeah,
like, the brusher brush. I'm like, so then I'm literally here like, Snoopy brusher toothbrush. When you get up in the morning, you don't know the song. So then I did the whole thing, and she's like, "What the fuck?" So I showed her the commercial, and she's like, "This man is."
Can we circle back for a minute, because you mentioned the brusher toothbrush, which I don't remember, but you showed one of you guys showed the Snoopy snow cone
maker.
Okay,
worst glory hole ever.
When we were 5 years old, we were given this toy. You put 3-4 ice cubes in the top. You put the house on the top. You crank this thing with a heavy cheese grater.
Little 3 blades on it that kept.
Yep. And out comes the ice, and then you squirt the gimmick on it. You have a snow cone. We were allowed to play with that on our own. If that shit came out today, there'd have to be 3 parents, 1 neighbor, and a member of the clergy to come to your house for these kids to play with this shit.
Well,
they'd never play with it today because you had to turn the crank by your by hand.
Oh my god!
I used to take it apart.
They wouldn't have a motor on it. They wouldn't know what to do.
I used to take it apart and take the part that cut the ice, and I would cut it on wood and shit. I was.
What's wrong with you?
See,
I got bored easily.
This explains so
I know.
much.
Thank you, Herm. Here you have this guy who's got this machine that makes delicious snow cones,
And he wants to make sawdust with it.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Where do I start?
Obviously, he ate the things he created. That's the problem.
On a very warm day in August of 1973, 72. Sorry, it all began. Wait, you're the oldest. I forgot that. That's right.
I am the oldest of the thrice of us. I am the oldest.
72, 73.
Yeah, I mean, the first video, the first half of that Selena and Yolanda video was basically rehashing the whole story.
But there were certain things in there, Herm, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me that were like, I don't know how true they were, but they were like little tidbits that you may or may not have known. And I'm encouraging you guys to go out and watch this thing. It's on Peacock right now. It's called Selena and Yolanda. Please enjoy it as much as I did. I have the final word tonight. Stick around till the end. My final word is dedicated to Selena. Ooh, Selena. Then my very first future ex-wife. God rest her soul. That's what I said many times, with lotion or without. But there were certain tidbits that came up where I think Yolanda's trying to circumnavigate her guilt in this by accusing Selena of certain things, none of which has ever been corroborated. No one else other than Yolanda is saying these things.
It's her trying to justify what she did in her own head and make she's victim shaming.
There are like there's little things that there's an semblance and a rumbling of some possibility of truth, but there's nothing verifiable. The doctor's secret.
Yeah.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Doctor's secret. Now the doctor admitted that there was nothing going on back then, and then years later, of course, years later, Selena's been long dead. All of a sudden, there was definite and then all of a sudden they were in love.
Well, it's a cash grab.
You know what I mean? Right. When he did, they were in love.
Well, how many books?
Really no verifiable proof of any of that other than they have is that little piece of paper thing. And there's
right. Well, how many books over the years have been written by women all over the world? And in this case, I could believe it. And I'm waiting for Gene Simmons to die because then I have to buy 4,000 books. But like Elvis and Me, My Weekend with Elvis, My This with Elvis, My That with Elvis. And you read these books and it's like, this doesn't fit the timeline. This does not fit any timeline ever in the history of ever.
Well, because
we went to Monaco on this date. Really? Quick Google search shows that Elvis was performing in Vegas on that night.
Quick Google search shows that he was on stage at Paramount Studios filming that day.
But in the 70s and 80s and 90s, when these books were coming out, no one could verify any of this.
Right. There was none of that. So it was we just took it for face value and went and
to that. Right. And to that note, I say this. That is one of those things where they say, well, that's my truth. There is no such thing as your truth. There is but the truth. And for those women that made money.
I got to disagree with that statement, and I'll make a point why.
Please do.
You ever heard the statement, I tell the truth even when I lie?
Yeah, Scarface. He was lying then.
All right. So let me tell you the difference between truth, the actual difference between truth and what is true. Okay. Truth is what you believe to be true, regardless of what is true. Yes, if you look at it, it's truth. The truth is whatever you make it, and that's the truth. What's true is what's true.
I agree with that.
I tell the truth even when I lie, because if it's and that's where the statement comes from.
I tend to.
And the truth are two separate things.
I stray from this for one reason, is because if someone tries to tell me the sky is green, it's not up to me to prove it. It's up to you to prove it. You made a positive claim. I can go out and visually see that the sky is blue. Joe Biden is the president of the United States. I don't need to verify this. I know it to be true. There is a truth, and then there's my truth.
Those are facts.
Facts are true.
Actual facts.
Well, facts are truth.
But truth depends on what side is saying their facts. It does.
Listen,
I mean, it Chris, does.
Hear me out.
The facts. It's a fact to the red and not to the right, and vice versa.
Hear me out.
Don't worry
Chris.
about that. I want to hear what Lynch has to say real quick.
Hear me out. What you're talking about things that are absolutely quantifiable by your vision, your sight, your ability to prove that what this other person is saying is not what you're seeing.
That can be verified and
the sky is
quantified.
green. The sky is green. Okay, you look at it, it's blue. What the point Herm is trying to make is when you're dealing with facts, when you're dealing with things that are not quantifiable, that you don't have the knowledge that the person who is the actor in this scenario, they can believe whatever they want to be the truth, and in their mind they're telling the truth.
Because if you know a fact or two that somebody else doesn't know, your truth is different.
Correct, because I can, in my mind,
Darlene, I love you for that comment. Thank you.
In my mind, I can believe that we didn't really go to the moon.
I've heard that.
Okay. Now, in my mind, I can believe that. And that's my version, my true version of what really happened.
Oh, it's a belief. It's not the truth.
But it is to Lynch.
But it is to the person. Listen, hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening, but then I got one for Herm.
It is to the person that holds that belief. And truth is a weird subject because it's what people believe.
It's
of the story, and it's very convoluted. There's very many layers to it. We're three reasonable men who know that when you're given a scenario, you can pull the truth out of it. If you lie enough to people and deceive people enough, the lie becomes the truth. You're telling me, I can tell you that I'm not a criminal. I don't kill people. I don't murder people. I don't rape babies.
I do as much as I want.
But behind the scenes, I'm doing that. And
I do that as much as I want.
And I say to everyone else, "Oh, that's bullshit. You don't really know me, blah, blah, blah." To me, I'm telling the truth. And I'm telling you a story that fits my narrative. And that's where people distort what truth.
That's what you
the
just
difference
said.
Between truth and facts.
But what you just said kind of brings it all back. It's a narrative. It's your narrative. It's what you want to believe. Belief and truth are two different things. To the non-religious folks out there, if we have anybody watching who's non-religious, I'm just going to throw this question at Herm. Because I think I know the answer. I wrote it down. If I'm wrong, Herm, you're going to hear it here first. Can you prove God doesn't exist?
I don't have to.
No, that's not that. It's a question. It's not whether you have to or not. I'm just asking, can you prove? It's a yes or no question. Can you prove God doesn't exist? This isn't a theological question.
No,
I just want to see if you do the same way everybody else does.
No, I can't. But okay. I also don't. But I also am not blind to the fact that God is just the blanket put over the pile of mystery to give it some shape.
Now, what I did was I wrote down what people usually say when I ask that question, and Herm did a fantastic job. He answered, then he qualified it, but the qualifier, at least he answered the question. When I ask that question to people, can you prove God doesn't exist? This is what I get. Can you prove he does? That's not how you answer a question.
No, but no. Again, here it is. Truth definition. Another definition of truth.
From where?
From Oxford.
Okay.
One of the definitions of truth is a fact or belief that is accepted as true. That's a truth.
The word belief is in the definition of truth, and that's the point I'm trying to make, Chris. Because you bring theology and religion into it. You
only to illustrate a point, and it wasn't meant to be a theology.
No. Let me
let
me answer that question for you. I can't prove he does not exist. But what you wrote down is exactly what the person who does not believe in God is going to ask you. How do you know he does? Because it's your belief he does. See, that's your truth. That is your personal truth.
I don't make the Herm and I are in Lynch now for the last 2.5, 3, 4, 9, 7 years. The word's higher power.
Right.
So,
but
Yeah, I
when
think-
you ask
I
when you ask
I
a
think
question
higher
like that,
powered means I'm just using high test in your car.
yeah, and that's a great question to ask people because it is the ultimate unanswerable question. Because there's two sides, two belief systems, and neither one is wrong.
I gotta
If
say
you
hello to
really think
Ryan in the
about it-
comment section. Hey,
Well-
fellas, wish I could sit and watch tonight, but I'm working. Well, that sucks to be you.
Well,
Watch later.
Here's the thing that I always come down to when it comes down to okay, so Chris, you're a Catholic?
No.
Wait. You believe in the concept of God and Jesus and all of that, right?
the
Correct.
Holy Trinity.
Okay. Do you believe in Buddha?
Yeah.
Or so
I
you believe,
believe. I
you believe in all the religions?
I think every religion is valid.
Well,
Absolutely.
do you follow Buddha? Do you follow all the Indian gods?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. Because
so-
the simple answer is I'm not of that culture.
All right. So, approximately 3,000 religions on the planet. You subscribe to one of them particularly,
Yes.
right? Okay. So, 3,000 religions on the planet. You don't believe in 2,999 of those gods.
No, I believe they exist.
Wait. All right, that's the general rule of thumb.
I see where you're going. I'll follow
believe in
along.
one more God. I believe in one less God than any other religion believes of the other 3,000. And as an atheist, I'm the bad one.
No, absolutely not.
In general, not you, but in general, we're the fight. Not ask any Christian on the planet. Nobody follows and believes Buddha. Nobody does any of the other 3,000 religions. I don't perform one more religion than the rest of the world, and I'm the enemy.
Well, and that's just it. To say that somebody else's version of what they believe is God is wrong.
No, absolutely not.
Is bullshit because it's what you believe. And belief and truth are inherently hand in hand. Because if you believe it to be true, it's true in your mind.
Right.
Whether it's the truth or not,
myself.
whether it is the truth or not,
we'll never, and you know
totally
what?
Different.
We'll never know. This is again theologically, the question will never be answered.
See, that's where my theory on religion comes into play.
But if you have 13 steps that lead up to the upper level of your house, and somebody says there are 18 steps, no, the truth is there are 13 steps.
Right, but they're allowed to believe there's 18.
Oh my God! Then you're okay. Then you're okay with that woman that I sent that video of, who said my son identifies as a cat, and the teacher kicked him out for licking his paws.
No. Yeah,
I'm asking.
Yes, the kid's allowed to believe whatever he wants.
Oh
There's
my God.
also, but you're not allowing the full statement here. The kid can believe whatever he wants. It's the parent's job to either correct it, or the rest of the world to tell him, nah, that shit don't fly. Believe whatever you want, but you're not coming the fucking here.
In a roundabout way, we're on the same page. But
getting
there,
there's consequences. I can tell my boss to go fuck off. Nothing stops me from saying it. There could be consequences.
There could be.
Right.
And speaking, go ahead, Lynch. I'm sorry. Lynch, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and Herm is exactly right on that point. I could say, like tomorrow, I'm not working tomorrow. My wife and I are going to New York. My district manager, regional manager, Connecticut, is showing up tomorrow. I haven't seen him in 25 years. I got along with him when I worked with him before, but he could walk in the door. He could have walked in the door and say, "What the fuck are you doing here?" There's going to be consequences for that.
Yeah,
but I'm allowed to say that. Because people are allowed to believe that they can identify as a fish or a cat or the day called Wednesday.
Right.
They can believe it all they want. We don't have. You either correct, like just like Herm said, it's up to a responsible party to correct the behavior and steer them down the right path, or just accept it and deal with the fact that your kid's going to be ostracized for the rest of his fucking life.
Yeah, well, I hate you guys
picked
and I
on
quit.
and bullied.
No,
and
I
bullied.
hate you guys, and I quit.
Okay.
See ya.
And I'm back.
Well, you see, that's how,
I mean,
just how quickly.
that whole religion thing. All right, and that's kind of where my belief of the whole process comes from. Is the whole is we were monodietic, and then we went we went to monodietic from polydietic.
Mm-hmm.
Every god on the planet that everybody prays to is created for one reason: stupidity.
Okay, I got to hear the end of this one.
Okay.
Also to provide comfort.
All right. No, comfort's later. It's stupidity. And here we go. The first gods that we learn about were Greeks and Romans. And what were those gods? Those gods
Gods
did
of
what?
war, weather, thunder, gimmick,
Right,
schnibbits.
okay. Things that nobody had a fucking answer for. Mysteries that the scientific world couldn't fucking explain, like volcanoes and fire and lightning and thunder. Okay. And after we smartened up enough, we realized that really didn't work, because we started to learn where fire came from and where thunder came from and where lightning came from and when all these, and where actual steel came from and who was the guardian of this, that, and the other thing.
Unless you're a flat earther, then you're just fucking
Well,
stupid.
but then it was around that point that it switched from explaining the scientific to basically monodietic began to cover all the things that we couldn't explain scientifically still. And it became the lost hope bucket.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Like I'll never, and we're gonna circle back in just a minute back to Yolanda. We're gonna bring it back to Yolanda.
Yolanda.
I feel eventually we'll evolve correctly and stop the whole religious thing in general.
I don't think that's a good thing to do at all. But I mean, that's just me. But again, we agree to disagree, and that's fine. We're adult human beings, and we're not going to fight each other over it. Unlike when one of
playground. I'll see you on the playground, motherfucker.
Yeah, I swing my bitch at the playground.
Well, I challenge anybody thumping their Bible to come to my house and tell me how much of a horrible person I am because I don't believe in God.
No,
and I'll show you how much of a horrible person you are.
See, and that's where we go wrong, is that certain religions will do that, and I think that's stupid. I think, in the doctrine that I believe, what you choose is what you choose. I'm not going to judge you for it. I'm going to live my life. And it kind of goes back to what this country goes through as a whole. It's like, well, if you don't believe what I believe, you're an ist and a phobe and this and that. They'll tell you what to believe, but the minute you try to turn that table around, it's garbage. You're told 16 different things, and nobody can define anything, and yada yada yada. The belief in the church and the doctrine that I follow is you're a person, and you guys know this because look, Herm, we're here fucking 35, 40 years later. Lynch, we're here fucking however long later, 25 years, and it doesn't matter what you believe in your heart or your mind. You're good people. That's what I look for. And you don't have to follow. You don't have to follow me on a Sunday, and you don't have to follow me in what I believe, because I want to make sure that my life is fulfilled in one way, and you want to fulfill it in this way, and Lynch, you want to fulfill it in this way, and Herm, you want to fulfill it in this way. That's all fine and good.
I'm friends with people,
but to disparage someone for what they and here comes the word believe again. We started with the word truth. Can I prove God exists? No. Are there signs that lead me to believe that? Yes, but it's another fucking episode that will take 9 hours.
I mean, I'm friends with some people that have some wacky beliefs. I'm still friends with them because deep down they're just good people. I surround myself with people who treat me the way I want to be treated. I'll take the thumping.
End result.
I'll take the thumping and the lumping from you guys and busting my balls, because I like to do that too.
Yeah, you do.
What I don't like is judgment, and that's the problem we have. And I know we sound kind of hypocritical when I say judgment, but because we talk about this all the time with the woke, yeah, I am judging them. I'm judging them based on a fallacy and a ridiculous statement.
Agreed.
We are free to believe what the fuck we want. But when I want to engage in dialogue to figure out these differences and what would led you to believe this, you just say no and go fuck yourself. I don't have the tolerance for that.
Mm-hmm.
We three just sat here for 10 minutes and talked about religion where we didn't even want to go there.
Three completely different opinions, and nobody's at each other's throat.
Exactly.
We're not screaming. We're not screaming and yelling and calling each other a fucking asshole, non-believer.
They're not doing that.
This is what we need.
I've got people on my timeline that we have people together.
Yeah.
That are just some of the shit they come out with in the name of religious belief is just what the fuck.
About the only
and usually it's not about I believe and this is what I think. It's literally
what you should believe.
It's literally telling you what's wrong with something you do. It's telling you why you doing yoga is the devil's work.
Oh, Herm, you're hitting the nail on the head because
I follow somebody. I have a friend who
like I got a friend who posts the Ouija board and shit, and I'm like, I cut vegetables on that shit. Get the fuck out.
There are people that if you don't follow, again, friends of mine that you're allowed to have, you're allowed to have your opinion. Don't foist it on me. And that's where I have a problem with a lot of the things that are going on today. And we've had conversations about it. We've had episodes about it, and I've had conversations with more than my fair share of people about it. You're allowed to think your way. You're allowed to live your life. That's the beauty. Live your life. The minute you try to tell me I should live your life, you've lost.
You're right. Here it is. Your religion restricts you from doing things. Your religion does not restrict me.
Mine does not actually.
No, I'm just saying in general. People's
I got you.
have a tendency to restrict them. You're not supposed to do this. If you want to get to heaven, you got to.
Can't eat meat on Friday. You can't do this. You can't do that. Yeah.
And you have to do this, and you have to do this. Your religion dictates what you are allowed to do.
Now here comes the question.
Religion is not allowed to dictate what I am supposed to do.
Now here comes the question, and this is posed to the both of you because of conversations we've had in the recent past. Those people that live by those doctrines, how many do you think actually live by those doctrines to the fullest extent?
Well, I mean, it depends. It depends.
0.5%.
Huh?
0.5%.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, I mean, most of them are they're in church on they're in the club Saturday night and going to the church on Sunday. Some of them are extremely like evangelical and hard-nosed about it. I'm
sorry.
Lynch, are you gonna die?
No. Please don't die.
Please don't die.
No. Just sneezy.
But some of these people are so uptight. I'm sure they're fabulous at parties.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been around a few of them.
I'm of the opinion that the most hypocritical, again, this is my opinion, I'm not speaking for the other two.
The only thing worse than an ex-smoker around people who smoke is a religious person around non-religious people.
No, the most.
Please stop it. Parents are the worst, and I'll give you an example.
The most hypocritical.
Go ahead, Mitch, please.
The most hypocritical people you're ever going to come across in your life. Or this is my opinion because this has happened to me. The most hypocritical pieces of shit are those who claim to be a devout Christian. Devout Christians believe in love thy neighbor. Devout Christians believe in forgiveness. Devout Christians don't judge.
To be honest, you're a devout Christian, and this is my opinion. Devout Christian, in my opinion, would be more, and I'm going to put politically attach it, would be very blue, very open to everybody else's feelings, how they are, all of the stories that you see and all the lessons and morals you see in this Bible that they push. The problem is that most of those lessons are used for a specific purpose that isn't love.
No, and that's just it. Is like I was told by a kid who is a born again Christian that if I don't believe in what he believes, I'm going to live in I'm going to live in eternal sin, and I'm going to hell.
I'm going to tell you from my perspective and from my area of Christianity, it's going to be the opposite. You're going to be the one that's welcome at the gates, and he's going to be the one on the outside. Come here, you. Yeah, I got some questions for you. Step over here.
And I had this argument with this person. I had this argument with this person in high school. I said, as a follower of Jesus, isn't it your responsibility to help people, just kind of guide people along the way without judgment and without hypocrisy?
That's the story the book wants you to go by.
To the kingdom of heaven, where you're going to be
Mhm.
accepted for who you are and as you lived. Who you are and as you lived.
And you will answer for your sins. However, you'll be welcomed.
You'll be welcomed in the arms of the kingdom of heaven.
Can you throw Darlene's comment up? When I was a kid, I had to wear a hat to church. No meat on Friday. Then they changed it, so I just didn't go to church. I get that. Going from my area of Christianity, which is a very loose, I guess you would call Christianity, there's one doctrine: love the sinner, hate the sin.
Exactly.
And to go back to some things that we've talked about, not to cut you off, Lynch, but we've talked about a lot of things over the last 6-7 months. I still love certain people. I hate the sin. And sometimes the sin is hypocrisy, and sometimes the sin is pride, and sometimes the sin is
ignorance.
In one case, ignorance or gluttony or what have you. Or I still love these people, but I hate the sin.
I mean, and here's a little tidbit about me, folks. I have read just about every version of the Bible on the planet.
I got to excuse myself for a minute.
Down to the satanic
I'm time-stamping this so I can. So did I, Anton LaVey. Did you read the follow-up? I'm sorry. Did you read the follow-up?
Yeah, I did.
Xena wrote.
I did.
Okay, just checking. I'll be right back.
Every single one of them is just a moral lesson in that culture's belief. Now, granted, Islam is not so warm and fuzzy. Okay, I didn't think it would ever be. But like you said, Herm, it's all moral tales of how you should live your life.
Religion religion was a way to govern the people into acting a certain way. They did it out of fear of something they didn't understand would get them in the end.
Because, like you said earlier, we had the god of thunder, we had the god of the ocean, we had the god of fire, or goddess, or whatever.
Right.
Because we didn't understand it, because it wasn't a concept. We didn't have science.
Right, and that right. So and what I feel that the concept of one God is literally there now because it's
we didn't need Thor anymore.
Right, but we technically don't need the concept of God either.
We don't need Orion. We don't need this Zeus. We don't need you guys anymore.
We don't need
just
God
have Jesus.
What God is God is a very easy way for me to get it off of my mind and not think about it, because God will handle it. Right. No, regardless of what you believe, it's going to turn out the way you turned out.
Right.
It's whether you believed in God or not. That's how the situation worked out. And I feel that, and for me, I believe in myself. And a lot of people say that's horrible, but no, it's not that. It's that I don't need to put my worries in God and hope somebody else will fix things. I don't feel things get fixed when you ignore them and hope somebody else takes care of them.
And being your own advocate is one of the most important things I learned in rehab. If you don't fight for yourself and believe in yourself and think that you can you're going to fall into those same old bad habits, because you're relying on other people to guide you. That's what most addicts and alcoholics, they fell into that cycle of being around people that just encourage the bad behavior. So if you're your own advocate and you believe in yourself first, you come first, everybody should do that. Everybody should believe that you personally should come first. because you know what? If you don't take care of you, you're not going to be around much longer.
That's a great point. That's a really great point.
And I had to accept that in rehab. The reason I drank was because I felt I had pain that it numbed, both physical and emotional. I dealt with a lot of shit in a very short period of time. I didn't handle it well. It went south. That's my story. But every day, even though I feel that I failed in that part of my life, which I did, I failed some people. I failed myself. But when I wake up every morning, the waking up part is the important part. And
Absolutely.
the first thing I say to myself is, today's a good day until you make it not a good day. And I still find myself falling into, she just pisses me off, ruins my day. I can't get like that.
We've done 30. I'm sorry, Lynch. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just telling a personal story because I believe in myself. Herm believes in himself. Herm believes in himself. Be your own advocate, folks.
Yeah.
If you don't have somebody that in your corner, you better prop yourself up there and just ride yourself hard and put yourself up wet, because the life isn't easy.
Yeah.
And some of the cards I've been dealt in life in the last 10 years suck.
Yep. And we lost.
But you know what? I chose to fight.
Well, yeah, and the point to that is, I look at Herm when he puts his cans back on. He and I went through a program together in our early 20s, and at the end of the program, we did the Lord's Prayer. And I never once, I still to this day laugh every time somebody's like, and now we're going to do the Lord's Prayer, because all I can hear is Herm in my head. And somebody leads it. Our Father. And Herm would say,
who's not in heaven.
Your Father.
Your Father, who is in heaven.
Correct.
Yeah. My Father is at home on Norman Drive.
Stop it. John chiming in. Yeah, it sucks when no one is in your corner, and John's exactly right. And I don't want to say too much about John's particular situation. I'm an advocate for John. A lot of shady shit in that situation,
and you know what, John, I wish you the best, and you fight for you first. You come first.
Absolutely.
And whatever the situation may be, shoot me a PM, man. I can talk.
Here's where I go with that one. When I've had an issue, I've reached out to you too. John has been someone I've spoken to in the past. If you don't know there's a problem, and Lynch, I'll use you as the example, because I didn't know there was a problem. I did not know until you sat in that room that day and said, yeah, I'm not going to be a part of the show for the next 6 to 8 weeks because I'm going to rehab. The color drained away from my face. I was like, what? It's good to have people in your corner. It's good to have people that you can lean on. I've leaned on Herm. Herm's leaned on me. Lynch has leaned on me. I've leaned on Lynch. Lynch, same way in reverse on the both of us. We were both shocked that day where you were like, yeah, I'm not going to be a part of this. Yeah, I got to go. Go do you, bro. And we were in agreement. Go do you.
Yeah. And I know we've gone way off course on what we were talking about, but
Yolanda's guilty as fuck.
Yeah, well, let me bring it back. we talk about belief and we talk about truth. This is her. The story she tells is her version of the truth, and it's just a version. It's what she believes to be true. All these little things that come up after the fact, and Selena's long dead. There's no one to refute it, because the point you made back, this is the very infancy of the internet is when this all happened. We didn't have instant information.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah,
we didn't have instant information. We heard about it the next day on Entertainment Television at 8 a.m.
Right.
We didn't hear this story as it happened. We heard it a couple hours later, day later.
No, if this happened now, you'd have heard it 28 seconds from now.
So back to that point is that there's no one to refute what she's saying, other than the father who wants Abraham want nothing to do with this. No
Way
dice.
to be racist, asshole.
No dice. Sony guts. Same thing. Sony guts.
This is how we figure out who's racist on this show. I'm going to ask a question.
It is.
But it's her version, and of course she's going to advocate for herself. She's going to say, "I'm going to fight for myself because I have to look as innocent as possible, or less guilty than I did 20 some odd years ago when
You
I was
shot
in
someone
jail."
in the back. How fucking innocent are you?
Listen, I saw the movie first.
Oh,
way
did
back-
you really? You didn't
way
know the
back when.
story first. Okay.
No, I remember it from. I actually went to the movie theater to see the movie.
Well, I'm
I
just saying
I went with a
you know,
girlfriend. I went with a girlfriend. So this is
That's bad for business, man. You can't jerk off to Selena if you're with a girlfriend.
well, anyway. So yeah, the crazy was painted. It was painted pretty well that this chick was fucking insane. The stuff that came out during the trial was insane. It paints her in a very bad picture. So of course, you're guilty, bitch. You're doing your time. It is a cash grab sellout to get attention on her story because of the times we live in. Oh, why don't we just let her go? Why don't we just release her from prison? Oh, we get the warm fuzzy. So the warm fuzzy rainbow pajama wearing motherfuckers can come and
yeah, but
rally to her cry.
Okay, not that I believe her guilt.
Listen, do you think it's coincidence that 3 in a row within 6 months I've had documentaries and news articles and interviews on The View in today's day and time?
That's a great point. That's a really great point.
You cannot convince me.
The court of public opinion.
I know I'm going to sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist here, but
Get off my lawn.
Just hear me out for 30 seconds.
Sure.
You can't convince me that all this shit is just way too well orchestrated because of the times we live in. We are less judgmental of people who commit horrific crimes in the past. We forgive the past.
Oh, but do we? Oh, because I could point to O.J. Simpson, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby. Pick your poison, but we pick and choose who we want to judge.
And like you said, the court of public opinion. Once they have that picture painted for them, you're talking about kids who are between 19 years old and 26 who weren't alive when this happened. And this is the demographic I'm talking about. That demographic, anything's the truth. Anything's real. Everything's real. So her story,
on TikTok or saw they saw.
Yeah, I saw the commercial for this on TikTok. So then I went to Peacock and then I watched it for 3 hours.
And I know you're innocent.
They're going in it from the wrong angle. They're going in it. They didn't see how fucking crazy she was. They didn't see the movie. They didn't read any books. They're just going to go in it and hear that story, just like we did with Gypsy Rose, and then the kid who wasn't a kid. They're coming at it at a fresh fucking angle. So of course the rally cry is freedom.
No.
Slip him out of jail.
Right, Darlene, you just won the internet with that comment. I'm just going to say that now, Darlene.
You're
put
getting
that beautiful bean footage.
Starting at school. Yep.
That's it. I don't know which one of you guys, or was it one of our friends that put it up that said the timeout generation is much less than you're going to get your ass whooped for doing this generation. It's true. Somewhere along the line, shit went wrong.
Accountability and repercussions just went out the window. I'm sorry. It's the truth.
Yolanda's guilty as fuck.
Yeah, she is, man.
So
she is. And it doesn't make her. It does. What I saw of it does not make her look any less crazy than she did 25 years ago.
Oh no, she looks crazier now.
Right.
Listening to her speak.
I mean, and I go back thinking about what I saw at Gypsy Rose. There's some. Herm said it as soon as she got released. It's a ticking time bomb.
Oh, I forget who said it recently.
She is a ticking time bomb.
She will go back to jail. is
Yes.
what Jimmy Wisman.
She cannot help
small town
herself.
murder.
Or
She'll
she'll be
go
Cannot
back.
help
back to jail.
herself. Well, she's just like Donald Trump. He just can't fucking help himself.
True.
Staying stupid shit and doing stupid things.
Now, the court made their decision. I'm a big believer in due process. Court made their decision. Yolanda's guilty as shit. I think we all agree Yolanda's guilty as shit. My question is, and let's try to keep it under 2 minutes in length. Should Yolanda get parole next year?
Well, I don't know if she should or not. I haven't watched her over the last 30 to see what her actual behavior is or not. I could not make a correct judgment and assessment on that based off of 2.5 hours of editing and a video and what people said. And there it is. That's the truth. None of us can make a proper fucking decision. We don't know how she spent her time.
Neither does the parole board. You go in and she tells her story, and others tell their story.
Right, well, no, the parole board does, because she's got the parole board has 25 years of her file in front of them. They have from the day
fair
she
point.
walked
Fair
in
point.
to the day she's sitting in front of them, and they can go through and look at anything that's happened on a piece of paper on a date in this incident and start looking at the last 25 years. They can look at any program you've done about retribution or coming to admit your guilt, or any of those programs they do in prison about you know what I mean, to try and make you to see where you fucked up and not let it happen again. So
I'm laughing because we talked off air about an old girlfriend of mine who is
the parole
currently
board
incarcerated.
can make that decision based on what they see in front of them. Based on what I saw, I can't make a decision yay or nay.
Okay.
I don't know enough.
That was going to be my answer. I don't have the knowledge.
Yeah,
I don't have the knowledge. I only have an opinion, and that's it. And I have an opinion based on extremely limited knowledge. So
my answer is the same.
I couldn't say yes or no without going through the 25 years.
If I had access to her records and was able to read it and make an informed judgment, that would be my answer at that point. Look, seeing what I've seen and knowing what I know from over 30 years, again, it's just my opinion. I don't think so. I mean, I watched an interesting news piece on CBS Saturday morning with my wife the other day about, of course, it was California, where this guy who got convicted of murder at 17 got released 22 years later after he got 2 master's degrees in prison, headed up this thing to train dogs for special needs people. They looked at some cases where there had been absolute signs of just turnaround, and they commuted their sentence. This guy got out of prison, and for the last 10 years has worked his ass off as a dog trainer, and he brings in dogs all from all sorts of rescues, and he rehabs them, and he employs other previous convicted felons. And the one thing
he probably does it so under the radar that if CBS didn't hunt him out, nobody would know.
The reason it was the anniversary of the day he was released 10 years ago. So CBS revisits a lot of old news stories and tells you the happy or sad ending.
Right.
I mean, and I'm glad for the sad ending
where they
sometimes.
are now.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, one guy said, "This gives me a purpose every day, because I know if I don't have that purpose, I'm going to fall back to my old ways."
There's a reason it's called the Department of Corrections. Some people utilize it, some people don't. They're just going to either get out and fall back into their old ways, or they're going to use it to, hey, I don't ever want to be here again.
Yeah, isn't that the whole point of prison, is to rehab people?
You'd like to believe so.
It depends on it depends on what school of thought you approach it from.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was going to go there,
there's a
and
couple
Herm
different
beat
ways
me to it.
There's a couple different ways to look at it.
Speaking of schools of thought, Yolanda's guilty as shit. Herm brought up something in the group chat today, and Lynch did not want to catch up, so I'm going to bring it forward. I bring forth to you a Chinese knockoff, as they call it, football jersey. You can see if I turn this inside out, stitched. It's sturdy. I've had this for 10 years. This thing looks as good today as the day I bought it. This is a gorgeous piece, whether or not you like the team. This is sexy. Herm showed a picture earlier. He says, have you seen the new MLB jerseys? No, I haven't bought an MLB jersey in probably like 4 years.
I know exactly what you're going to talk about then.
And it's all
heat pressed.
stamped. Yeah, it's
I
like
can make it on
it's
my.
like it's like going to the mall when you were a kid and getting the powder blue T-shirt with BJ and the bear on the front.
I can make that in my craft room in my cricket.
Yeah, well, the apparently the new jerseys are coming out, and they're made from a part of the Nike's Vapor Cool line.
Yeah, special fabric,
which is moisture wicking, breathable, yada yada yada. The problem is that the players like them for the fact of how they're going to wear in the middle of July.
Oh yeah, freedom of movement,
right.
less sweat.
The problem the players are having is that because of the material that it is, it will not take embroidered stitching or any stitching of letters. Everything has to be heat treated. So the problem is the players feel like we've decided to go with these shirts, and they basically all look like you bought a Yankees jersey at TJ Maxx or Ross. They look
Ross.
They're horrible. They just do not look like a major league players jersey.
And I saw that last night.
The players think they just look cheap and shitty.
They do.
I saw it on Facebook last night, and I was like, wow, that looks like shit. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't catch up on the chat. I would have, but I had so many fucking things to do this morning.
You guys know I'm a jersey collector. If I took you on a tour of my closet, you'd see easily 40 jerseys in that closet of various.
And over here in the right-hand corner is my original Spank sock.
Right. I'll show that. That's on the left side, by the way. But these Chinese knockoffs, and I'm going to reach back. You know, I hear people, oh, well, you shouldn't buy Chinese knockoffs. I paid for this $100 less than I would have paid if I went to a local knockoff
if it's the quality that I want.
Exactly.
Right?
And as a jersey collector, I want quality and I want durability. And it has to. Okay, the third thing has to look good.
That one really you had made good for me with the COVID on it.
Yes,
like brand new condition.
Take a picture, Herm. Have you ever seen that jersey?
I have.
It gets a lot of talk when he wears that.
I wear it out in public, and I like the giggles or the stares I get.
Fuck yeah! But at the same time, look, I would rather go to my guy, Pete, the Jersey guy. He used to be Harry the Hammer, and then he got out of the game. Pete's my New Jersey guy, and I'll say for $65, I want this. And sometimes they're custom. My Ohio State jersey is custom. My favorite number, my name on the back. I got one for Emma. I did one for my friend Tim Cressy. I've done them for other people, and they are quality. High quality. This you would spend $200 anywhere else. You go through me, you get it for $65. I'm not advocating you do this. Find your own jersey guy. I am not your conduit because I will upcharge because I'm doing all the legwork. Except for you two jamokes, I would do that for you guys for free. But this belief that, well, you know, it's not made in America and it's a Chinese knockoff. No, these are the real deal. I have 40 of these in various teams, colors, sports. that are better than anything you'll buy at any sports shop here in America. They're going to last longer. I have one jersey in my closet right now that I have had for 21 years. Looks just as good as the day I bought it. Chinese knockoff.
Yep.
Or as they say, Chinese knockoff. Can we get past the myth that if it's not made in America, it's bullshit?
Well, that's the thing.
Herb brought up a good point. I don't mean to stop you.
Your point is that it's a Chinese knockoff. However, the
No,
problem
their
is
point.
that because, well, no, technically it is. It is not a licensed fucking.
Hold that thought. Because right here is the Mitchell and Ness. Where do you think they have them made?
Well, I'm just saying you can order a Mitchell and Ness from anywhere and have it made by anywhere. My point is that maybe the jersey is made in China.
Who cares?
And maybe it is a knockoff. All right, but the problem is that everybody thinks that anything that comes from China is shit. That's fine. Nobody call me or text me on your fucking phone ever again.
Because Samsung, iPhone, where's it all built?
It's not about where it's from. It's about the level of quality that whoever the buyer is demands of the manufacturing company. I use chef knives that are exclusively made in China. However, they're made to an exquisite level of quality on the steel. They use an extremely high system at the end to check them. They're well made.
Yes.
The problem is that there are companies out there that, because it's China and they've got a company that comes to them and says, we want you to make this just like company X, but just make it cheaper and it doesn't have to be as perfect. Well, then that gets made in China and everybody, well, it's a Chinese knockoff and it's shit and everything on China is shit. No, that particular company that's producing that copy of that thing has a low initial quality requirement.
So I deal with that at work because we sell bearings and a lot of them come from China. Because a lot of the places that used to make in America, they either moved to Mexico or China because
or outsourced,
or outsourced cheaper labor. We also get stuff from India, Serbia. I mean, it's crazy.
Right? It's not about where it's made; it's about the quality.
It's about the quality
they use to make it, and the manufacturing, and how tight their tolerances are when they make it.
I can sell you a bearing called a 6202 2RS C3 that's cheaply made, and my cost is like ridiculously low. But in the same factory with better material and a more meticulous final product, I can sell you the same exact bearing that says 6203 2RS on it, but it's going to be a better quality and it's a lower failure rate.
But
you have to pay a little bit more.
My Blackstone grill,
or like, I bought a Traeger. No, you bought a grill that looks like a Traeger.
Right. You go out and you buy the grill that I have at Walmart, and you pay $300 for it.
Right. When you buy the real grill,
level of quality. When I go to Blackstone Direct and I buy that same grill, it's $500 and change, and everything about it. They're made in the exact same factory. And the product is the one that's got Blackstone's name on that Blackstone sell is made to a higher level of initial quality and better everything. The version they sell at Walmart is made to a lower standard. It has less power. It looks exactly the same, but there's a reason that grill only sells for $289, where mine sells for almost $600.
You kind of just given me, like, when I do my jerseys, it's like you can get, wherever these come from, I don't care. They're durable. They're high quality.
Right. There's a level of quality that you like, and that's all you're really concerned with.
But there's this.
It's to my standard.
If you go to Fanatics, where they upcharge you ridiculous, and it's all heat sealed, it's a difference between Traeger and Great Value Traeger, or Blackstone and Great Value Blackstone. It's my joke that I make all the time when you see a guy on the street thinking he's Tom Cruise. It's like, well, if you order Tom Cruise on Wish,
Yeah,
Right.
and the same can be said for televisions. People are like, "Oh, I can get the same exact TV at Walmart for $200 less."
No,
No,
you can't.
no, the model number may be similar, but the Walmart number is 1 digit off or 1 digit additional, and that's a completely different TV on the inside.
Right.
You
It's the same TV on the outside. It's made in the same factory, but it's made to a spec that Walmart wants.
the picture quality is not going to be as bright. It's not going to it'll look good for $400, but if you spent the $700 and got the same TV at
Best Buy.
Best Buy or an actual television store, which are none of anymore, which really pisses me off, or even Target sells cheaper TVs. Costco sells cheaper TVs because they're made specifically for them at that price point. You think they're going to give an $800 TV away for $500 every day? The same
Not if
TV?
they're-
No.
not if they're
If they want to go
smart,
out
no.
of business, if they want to go out of business, they do.
No, and there's no, they don't. And then the only way that gets around that is with things with clubs. Generally, the items at clubs are if you buy the same TV at Sam's that you buy at Walmart, the Sam's TV is better and it's
Right.
cheaper.
Right. It's better and it's cheaper because they have an agreement with the manufacturers to buy at a certain cost and sell at a certain price.
Because they're guarantee we're going to buy X thousand of these units, and
I'm going to buy
from all
10,000
stores.
of these for Sam's. I'm only going to buy 2,000 of these for
Walmart.
I'm making just as much margin on the Sam's Club for better quality than I am on these TVs I'm basically giving away at Walmart.
Right. And you have to remember that
electronics
at Sam's Club,
average is like 10%.
everybody who walks through the door has paid $50 to $100 just for the ability
the privilege
to do so.
For the privilege of being able to walk in.
Right. So there's money coming in straight up from membership.
Right.
That Walmart doesn't. Walmart don't get no money because you walk through the front door.
No, it's free.
Sam's
it's free.
Club already got your money. That's why you're allowed to walk through the front door.
Exactly. And
bingo.
And people bitch about being accosted at Costco now. I understand. I get annoyed, but I do it. Can I see your membership and your ID? Okay, here we go. Because people are passing the card around.
You have to at Costco. You have to at Sam's. It's
legally
binding. It's literally in their contract when you sign up for membership that you give them the right to check your shit.
Because it's a membership that can be revoked.
Right. At Walmart, where you are under no obligation legally to show them shit.
Nope.
But at Sam's Club, you have to. If you don't want to, that's fine. We're canceling your membership right now,
including a receipt on your way out.
Right.
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If they have the right to ask, but legally you don't have to show them your receipt.
But at Costco, you can't walk past that old man or old lady at the door without checking your receipt checked because they want to make sure you're being honest.
You agreed
to the rules.
You already signed a form.
You agreed to the rules,
saying that you agreed to the rules when you paid your fee and asked for your membership.
And people don't realize that if somebody at Costco or BJ's or Sam's Club wants to toss you out and evict you and read you the Landlord Act, they can. Any business can do that. Walmart can do that.
Yep.
They have the right to refuse service, but with a membership, it can be revoked, and you're never going to get another membership there.
Right.
So when the person at Costco asks you for your receipt, kindly give it. When the person at Walmart asks you for your receipt,
kindly tell them to fuck off.
You keep walking.
Do whatever you want.
Because if you're making me check myself out, you're putting the onus on the customer to be honest. Now we all know not everybody's honest.
No.
But you know what? I mean, you see me 2 to 3 times a week, and if I've done something to raise suspicion, fine. But
yeah, nobody's checking my receipt. I'm white.
Stop.
All right, so he's more racist.
There must be something wrong with me.
He's more racist
check
than
mine often.
Yeah, but that's where you live.
You have that kind of.
That's where you live. I'm a minority.
I don't go to Lisbon, Norwich, Groton. I go to Cromwell, Newington. I'm the outlier.
Right,
I'm the
because that's all white people. See, here it's mostly brown people.
Where I go,
you're the minority.
If I go to Lisbon, Norwich, Groton, I don't get checked. If I go to Cromwell, Newington, I get checked all the time. Why? Because I'm the outlier.
Those are super white towns.
No, they're not. I'm trying to tell you, I get checked because 90% of those people in there are like, "What? No, they're not.
In Cromwell.
Where the Walmart is in Cromwell?
Maybe.
Come on now.
I'm just saying, what Cromwell's about as white a town as you can get.
I remember
If you go to the east side of Cromwell, 1000% absolutely. You're on the west side by Walmart. There's Goya when you walk through the door.
Yeah, when I first walked into Willimantic after they put everything behind the lock and key,
Yes.
I'm like, where the fuck are the razor blades? Where the fuck is this? Oh, you have to go to the counter.
You gotta
and
push a
get that.
button. No joke.
That's
I'm
true.
at
You
the
have to go to the
Walmart.
counter. You have to go to the counter, and the counter girl has to get a key. She's got to go over and get it out and take it out. And how many do you want? And I'll bring them back. That's how it is
Walmart-
here. We don't
the-
even have English music playing in the fucking store.
He's got Jerry Rivera.
All of
going
it,
on.
all of that, all the time. It's fucking Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass every fucking
Oh
day.
shit.
Chuck Mangione.
I would accept that. I was at the Walmart in Cromwell. I was like, I gotta get razors. Emma's party's coming up. Want to kind of, clean up my face. And you get there, and all the razors, even the cheap shit ones, are behind this plexiglass gimmick with a lock, and it says "Press for assistance."
I love watching those videos from the retail places in California where they just fucking take hammers to shit and rip it off anyway.
Oh God,
That's
Yeah,
very
I don't deal
impressive.
with that. That's what I
That's
have.
very impressive.
I have an actual
fucking thief.
subscription for razor blades.
Oh, you
Razor
do?
blades.
Do you do the Dollar Shave Club or do you do the
No. I go straight through Gillette and I buy their top of the line King Gillette double edged old school razors.
People don't
All right,
realize that's so much cheaper.
Gillette isn't bad. Don't go through Harry's. They're a bullshit company.
Dollar
Well,
Shave Club was
there's not
good
very
when they
many.
first started.
There's not many companies I can get the razor blade that I use. I use disposables, but getting the old double-edged safety razors is hard. And
Check
what they sell in the stores and what certain companies sell are crap.
Yeah.
They're
Check
garbage.
Jeremy's razors. You'll thank me later.
Occam's razor?
No, Jeremy's razors.
Oh, okay. Fuck them and knock
No,
'em.
I like the King Gillettes. They're very nice. They're
Okay.
they're a very nice razor blade, and they're like it's $6 every 3 months.
Yeah,
That's
it's so
not
much cheaper
bad.
that way. It's
No, because
super
I don't.
cheap.
No, because that's why it's cheap. Because I'm literally just buying the blade. I'm not buying the plastic housing it's in. It's one of the old school flip opens. Put the
Yeah,
It's the
Yeah,
fucking
no,
razor
exactly.
blade your grandfather used.
that's exactly. I was just going to
It's
say that. My
between the-
grandfather Lynch used to shave with that.
That
fucking thing.
and I got my dad's straight razor. There it is. That's what I use.
Ooh, that could cause some problems in the future.
There's nothing better than a nice, hot, fresh, straight razor shave.
I got my
I wouldn't know, as you can
double
tell.
blade and my
Yeah,
dad's
clearly.
straight razor.
When
And
my
his
buddy
coffee
got
brush.
2 weeks before I did, his marriage is still going. Mine is not. We went to this joint in the south side of Boston, not far from Morton's Steakhouse, where we had dinner, and we all got rigged up. He's like, I want all my groomsmen to look, sharp and whatever. And I'm like, I got the goatee. What are they gonna do? Don't worry, they'll get around it. They're pros. The hot towel and the foam and the straight razor. I thought I was gonna die.
Isn't it great, man? Isn't that great?
I've never looked better. I've never felt better. You just, when you walk out of that place, you feel like a new man.
People don't appreciate and it's coming back around, the old school barber, man. And it's coming back around, and because I went, like I said, I went to the place I got my first haircut at 4 years old, in the same spot, just like Herm said, in the same spot, the chair in the middle on the right. That's where everybody gets their first fucking haircut.
They had
John's
haircuts way
Barbershop.
back then.
But
Yeah, they used like a piece of obsidian.
yeah, unobtainium.
Fucking love you for that.
Assholes.
They used a piece of obsidian. It was really sharp.
I need
It
the
was so-
time stone from the Infinity Gauntlet.
They scraped that motherfucker off.
I'm saying they made a fucking they made a knife edge with a second
Right.
stone, and it was nice.
Chaka comes out to give you the hot
fuck
towel
you.
treatment.
Oh yeah.
No, but going back to my point,
Please.
I like to see that old school barber style coming back. Like everybody, they take their time and do a really, really good job. It was an hour for my haircut and shave.
You still have
Yeah.
that, and that's
Hey.
the thing. It's the white
not-
community. It's it's the white community that has let that drift aside.
Yeah, and
If
I
you
loved going to the barber shop when I was a kid.
if you go in black communities and communities of ethnicity and color, in the black community, the barbershop is a fucking community hub.
That's where all the action happens, man.
The barbershop's where you get your news
Your
of the block.
news, your news of the block. What's
Here
going on in the hood?
here in Pueblo, those barbershops are still a big thing. Like the Mexicans like to get prettied up and dolled up and for events and shit, you know what I mean? Like if there's a quinceañera, the whole family is going in and getting the whole treatment, top to bottom, hair, face, that whole thing. And that's it's very much still a part of the culture here, that barbershop thing.
Yeah,
It's
then we went
mostly
to
it's the
way of the
white
cost
people.
cutters.
I was going to say it's the white people that go to Supercuts.
Right.
I mean,
And on top of that, what
when I was a-
bothers me is that the generation that we have now think that they've invented something wonderful. And it's like,
No,
bitch, that happened 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, like the only reason I stopped going to John's barbershop was because the girl I was dating was a certified beautician.
She cut my hair once.
And she did my hair. And to be honest, she did my flat top better than just about anybody else could. So why am I going to go away from that? So
she knew how to make it look.
That was it. That's it. And since then, I just shaved my own fucking head. But yeah, like that's literally the only reason I stopped going to John's was because I was married to a hairdresser.
Yeah. I mean, it is an awesome experience. When I was a little kid, I used to love going to the barbershop with my dad or my grandfather because my grandfather got the whole regalia. He got the same haircut. It was a flat, high and tight, flat top, but he'd get that hot shave.
Yeah, you know,
it would take forever. Then I had to get my haircut.
Place where you can walk in and just go, give me a regular haircut, and that's all you got to tell them. What do you want? Give me a regular haircut.
Give me the regular.
The one question.
And one question. Clean it up.
The one question she asked me about my hair was, "What blade do you normally do on the side?" I said, "A 2." Okay. And
yeah, you know, what are you looking for?
He just looked at my head and
high and tight, started with a 000 on the sides, and there it is. That was it.
She took a look at my noggin. She stood back, grabbed the right guard for the clippers, and just
got the flea and tick shampoo.
And when she was done, it looked fucking awesome. That's an art. That's a skill. I don't have to. All right. So do you how do you want this to go? Just cut my hair and then we'll talk about it when you're done. You know? and we lost that with cost cutters and supercuts and all this shit back in the 80s because we had a haircut was just an inconvenience. It wasn't like Herm said, it wasn't a place. I remember my dad and my grandfather shooting the shit with these strangers that I didn't know for hours at the barbershop. It was an afternoon thing, which was cool because I met a lot of really cool people.
Yeah, I'm over there getting my hair cut. My dad's sitting there over there on the other side with the two guys in the chairs in the back in the corner on the left that haven't got nobody in their chair, and he's over there just talking and jawing.
Yeah, and back in the 70s, they're smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey and having a great time.
They're smoking cigarettes. There's an ashtray at every station.
Oh, and at that place that I went in 2007, while you were waiting, they served you like a little whiskey drink.
Yeah.
That's old school.
Yeah. I mean, my grandfather, we used to bring a 6-pack of Schlitz with him, and the haircut was over. When the haircut was over when the 6-pack was gone.
Gotcha.
Tammy did that at her salon. She had a refrigerator, and clients could keep a little bottle
whatever
of
the
wine,
fuck they want,
a couple of beers, whatever it is they wanted. When they got in, they do your thing, sat down, have a
I totally wish I got along with her. I totally wish I got along with her better.
You totally keep. She did that for everybody. I'm like, what? First time I was like, what is all this alcohol in the fridge in the salon? She's like, it's not mine.
Don't question it.
She's like, well, I was just curious. I'm like, what's with all the booze? You guys having a party in here tonight? Because you know, those girls did do that.
Herm, she's like, let it happen. Let it happen.
She's like, no, it's
her place local.
She was in West
Rhode Island. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got my haircut there once. It was okay.
She had a shop for like 10 years.
Yeah.
10, 12 years.
All right.
Then
So before we leave you, next
Where are we
week,
going? Where are we going?
hopefully, what we were at an hour and a half now. We got to go.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. We're having so much fun.
Aw.
Before we go, if you're new to the show, stick around till the very end. The last word is always funny. If you're here next week, we are going to do Valentine's Day. Am I the asshole? We want Marsh to come back. And again, Marsh is dealing with a shitty situation that it just happens.
He's elbow deep in fucking brown.
Dude, he is turd burglar number 1 right now.
Wrangler.
We wish him the
Wrangler.
best. Right. So for the ugly... Oh, Sarah says, I just got here. Well, you're going to have to go back in about 20 minutes when everything reloads on Facebook or YouTube. And Sarah, this one's for you, kid. Love you. We're out of here. See you next week. Valentine's Day. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
All right.
Judgment falls upon you at first light. I'm the hand of God. I'm the dark Messiah. I'm the vengeful blood. In the blackest moments of a dying world, what have you
You know, the day before